the earth. The green of the forest and grain of the field. The forces of nature bestow upon us a most asset: energy, fuel from the earth, full and abundant. Else in the world. Behind this achievement is energy. Energy in many forms. Dependable, economical, available to all. Never more than a few steps away. Energy. Insatiable is our appetite. Unending our consumption. But what happens when demand is greater than supply? We have learned that lesson well. With all its vast facilities, is it possible the United States is running out of fuel? Let's take a look. Oil. Currently, it meets almost 40% of our energy requirements. But for many years, America has had to look for the petroleum it needs. As for natural gas, known reserves are finite, and its long-range potential is in question. Nuclear power was once thought to be a panacea. However, the full realization of this energy source is complicated by both financial and environmental difficulties. And the domestic supply of available uranium is limited. Then there is coal. It has been estimated by the federal government that our land bears billions of tons of coal, a natural energy resource within our own borders, and enough of it for centuries to come, as opposed to other forms of energy. Coal represents almost 90% of our entire energy inventory. So it can be said that of all fuel sources, coal is truly an American energy asset. Where does it come from? How was it formed? For the answer, we must recreate a journey that began millions of years ago when our land was a marshy, tropical wilderness. Prehistoric ferns and mosses flourished and fell, matting the wet earth in ever-thickening layers. It was a cycle of birth, death, and decay, and from this natural genesis would come a carbon fuel, an early form of coal called peat, a material composed of carbon mixed with hydrogen and oxygen. As millennia passed, silt, sand, and mud exerted increasing pressure, in effect squeezing out molecules of hydrogen and oxygen. The result was lignite, a substance richer in carbon. The weight of the earth pressed down, and the lignite became a coal with an even higher carbon content. Natural energy at various levels below the earth. Sometimes coal is buried beneath many layers of sedimentary rock. At these depths, tunnels must be dug, so man and machine can move in. It is a subterranean tunnel of time, an unwritten history of the earth, leading to a scene from the pages of science fiction itself. They call the machine a continuous miner. With it, one man can cut more coal in 90 seconds than a crew do in a full day. A single pass of the mammoth jaws rips the face of coal in non-stop operation, wetting down the dust as it cuts. The technique is a systems approach, a modern marriage of machinery and mining. After the shuttle car is loaded with the cut coal, the journey begins. Continuous mining is only one method. Other equipment may be used, depending on the local geology. The goal is to get this treasure from the earth out of the mine as fast and as safely as possible. For once the coal is cut, it has to be carried away. It can go by belt. It can go by rail. Whichever is more efficient, convenient, and safe. The commitment to safety is constant. Freshly cut walls are sprayed with a cloud of pulverized limestone to settle the dust and provide a protective blanket for the miner's health and safety. Indeed, safety is built in from the very beginning. Under the earth, tunnel stability is of paramount importance throughout the mine. Strong steel rods secure the roof, and all is ready for the experts.
Any gas, Joe?
Don't find any at all, Dave.
Modern mining people are a new breed,
Sure is.
working both with their hands and with their brains. Scientific planning from the drawing board to the mine itself. The tools of the coal industry have come a long way from the days of the old pick and shovel. Space-age technology has improved productivity, so one man can do the work of many. The mining picture extends from below ground to the surface. Near the crust of the earth lies much of America's recoverable coal. Beneath the surface, there are thin layers of soil and rock called overburden. For example, clay, limestone, and shale. And as little as a few feet below, there is coal. To get at this valuable energy asset, the overburden must first be removed.
Well, they can work on that right-hand air swivel and change that compressor oil.
All right.
Okay.
Why do we look for this valuable fuel near the surface of the land? Because nearly 100% of this coal can be recovered once the overburden is set aside. There is almost no waste, and tonnage per man-hour is very high. At a time of rising fuel prices, these cost savings are important to the ultimate consumer. Another reason is that much of America's premium low-sulfur coal can only be reached by surface methods. With all these advantages, why then is surface mining so controversial? The answer is that although freshly stripped areas may be unattractive, what is forgotten is that at the same time the coal is being recovered, the land is being reclaimed. For alongside the shovels roll the bulldozers, and restoration begins. The earth is graded, and then vegetation is sowed in a spray of seed and water. Even in other parts of the country, like the dry areas of the West, within a short time, a new and natural ecosystem soon begins to emerge, green and growing. All during the operation, there is close coordination between reclamation and recovery, since removing the overburden is a complex environmental challenge. It must be done wisely and well. To do it, a giant drag line, one of the largest land machines in the world. Its reach extends further than the length of a football field. High above the ground, the operator works in air-conditioned comfort. When the overburden is gone, the coal itself can be mined. A huge loading shovel bites off almost 17 tons a mouthful. But even at such levels of productivity, we are mining only a tiny portion of our enormous reserves each year. As fast as the coal is dug, it's got to be moved. The journey continues from production on to processing. Mine-run coal isn't always usable as it comes from the ground, but special preparation plants can make it so. The end result, a clean fuel in the size and grade required for combustion. Sometimes processing is taken a step further. Here, metallurgical coal is baked into coke, which is essential in making steel, America's basic manufacturing material, from which thousands of industrial and consumer products are born. Such special purpose coal has another dividend. Our international balance of trade is helped by revenue received from this vital product. Whether by sea or by rail, moving this abundant American asset is the biggest transportation job in the country. New concepts in railroad traffic management are being developed. The unit train. It loads and unloads on the move, never stopping. A continuous coal carrier, providing a direct transportation link between supplier and customer. Our inland waters also serve as a highway for coal. River barges float coal up and down America, from the Missouri to the Monongahela. The river is a roadway that has withstood the test of time. Today, transportation technology is exploring other horizons. The coal slurry pipeline. After years of improvement, the coal pipeline can provide operating economies in many areas of the country. Solid fuel is mixed with water, pulverized, and sent on its way as a thick, soupy gruel. But pipelines are only one innovation in transporting coal from the mine to the customer. Sometimes the customer comes to the coal. An electric power station at the very mouth of a producing mine. Here, the fuel travels but a short distance. The result, from seam to steam. And from there to the magic of electricity, most of which comes from coal-fired plants. So, a product that began in darkness millions of years ago now touches our daily lives in many ways. Is not only one of man's forms, it is also one of his newest. Coal's past is but a prelude to its future. Research. At labs across the country, tomorrow takes many forms and is seen in many ways. With special instruments, science explores deeper dimensions. The camera's eye magnifies sections of coal into a pattern of possibilities. To release these potentials is the purpose of research, both theoretical and applied. Water quality comes in for special attention. Mine drainage must be checked for compatibility with the environment. Air samples are measured to ensure optimum safety conditions in the mine. Undergoes thorough examination. The tools of research must meet the tests of technology. Industry, in cooperation with the government, strives to make better use of better coal. Thus, we may soon learn how to burn coal in some new, cleaner way. But promise in the lab should be borne out by practicality in the field. Proving its practicality is coal gasification. As the name implies, the process converts coal from a solid to a gaseous state, resulting in high-quality, burnable gas. A valuable product to supplement our limited supply of natural gas. Another asset may be coal in liquid form. Like gasification, the liquefaction process results in a fuel with a low sulfur content. As the demand for more energy increases, research continues in the lab as well as underground. In a simulated mine, dust testing techniques are being improved. Exposure to dust is accurately monitored for higher health and safety standards. In a progressive industry, new and better career opportunities are opening up. The modern miner receives wages that are among the highest in any American industry. Working conditions in all areas of mining are safer than ever before. When you're down below, the temperature is cool and comfortable, air-conditioned by nature herself, any time of the year, any hour of the day. At the end of a shift, you board a man-trip car. It's almost like a commuter railroad, taking you home again. Teamwork in the mine is essential, but it also carries over into good fellowship when your work is done.
Where you stay there, Jumpin' Joe? How you doing? Hold my hand. Now go. Get them all.
Hey, Roy, get in here. Oh, yeah, Roy, hurry up.
Where's your old man? Hey, Wes, you were in that miner last night?
It's a rewarding job, and also an asset for the community. Along Main Street, you can see the meaning of a steady payroll. Good business and good living go hand in hand. A pleasant neighborhood and a nice place to live. You realize that you can't have all these without jobs and the taxes that support the community. On a day off, maybe you go hunting. And you hope the early morning snow will clear. With George Challens and his son Dan, mining has run in the family for generations. But a lot of things have changed since the old days. You might say the new miner's style is suburban. A good car, a spacious home, and the country just a short drive away.
Come on, girl. Come here, Randy. Come on.
The sounds of the forest, and then an echo from the past.
What's this, Dad? You okay?
Yeah, that's the old cage, Danny.
One of the mines where George used to work before his son was born.
My gosh, how many men rode this thing?
Oh, 10 or 12. Look, Dan, it's got a wooden floor on it. Yeah, how'd you like to ride that today?
Far cry from what we've got. 27 men riding ours and 10 riding this. Man, it swayed back and forth, creaked. What's this?
That's a safety device they had on it to lock in the guides in case the rope broke. There's an old pick car, Dan. Used to pull it with a mule. Wear a carbine light.
How many tons it hold?
Oh, about 2.
Gosh darn. We hold 12 and they hold 2 in those days.
Well, let's go, Randy. Come on.
Randy.
The coal industry has made enormous strides, but there's still much to be done. The environment. There was a time when land was left for nature to reclaim herself. Today, it can often be put to even more productive use. A man-made lake where once was found a seam of coal, now does of our name. It is said that America's assets are many, and none more bountiful than the beauty of the land itself. The sun does yield its gifts to the earth. The green of the forest. And the grain of the field. The bounty of the seasons and the sun. And nature does bestow upon us a most priceless asset. Fuel from the earth, full and abundant, to give us the freedom to meet our nation's needs. The spirit of liberty is the ultimate source of our strength, and in the end, the most enduring American asset.